Okay. Testing. Streaming on X and YouTube at the same time. I don't even know if this is going to work. But we'll see. And I see there's 2 people in here, so it's working at least a little bit. So if you're here, say something in the chat. If you're on YouTube, let me know. Maybe actually StreamYard might let me know, but we'll see. We'll see how this is going to go. And the reason why we're doing this is actually because TikTok keeps basically stopping us from streaming there. They keep restricting us, which really sucks. Oh, U1 is here. Hey, man. How you doing? Actually, I'm going to try to see if I can watch this from my own phone and see if it works as intended. Because if it doesn't, I'll be sad. Let's see. I'm going to jump on. Let's see if there's a way for me to see this. And it is, yes. Very good. And we'll see if more people manage to pop on. Actually, Lorene, no, it is not the first time on X. It's actually the second time. We made an attempt before. Well, it was a very successful attempt, actually, because we had over 100 people watching when Rob and I was streaming together. Oh, for you mean? Okay, yeah, I get that, for sure. That's good. And we'll see if we can get some more people popping in. We're going to be looking at the market, obviously, as usual. I'm just going to try to do this the same way we used to do it on TikTok, but with a better layout here. So hopefully this feels nicer for you guys as well. So I'm going to do this right now. I think that looks decent. A bigger screen so you guys can see what's going on. But hey, look at that. Look at Solana. Solana is really just chugging along. And I think during the other streams that we had on TikTok earlier, it was a lot of talk about, oh, Solana, nothing's happening with Solana. It's boring. But it's like Solana has been just chugging along in a boring manner, kind of. And it's resulted in it's just perpetual, not perpetual, but just an ongoing pump. And we can also see that right now it's actually moved out of this trend here. Which it was kind of stuck within. If we're going to remove this one, just to go as simple as possible here, we're going to see, we see this breaking out, and that's probably why we have a little bit of a bigger move here. But, so far so good, right? And I think we were talking about, hey, Banked, by the way. And I think what we were talking about before was that we would get stuck around this area, which we did. We didn't make a move out of it, fell down through it, but that was mainly based on, this fib here and the golden pocket. So we got stuck before that. Actually, I think it was on the daily candle closes, if I remember correctly, when we did this during a stream not long ago. And yeah, see, we got stuck here. So now that we're breaking out of that, the next kind of target towards this is going to be this daily candle close. And that's good. But I'm not sure, how strongly we're going to look at fibs here today. And, usually when we do this, we're trying to help people that are new to this to kind of start learning the simple basics. We don't go into very deep TA during our streams. We try to avoid going too complex because we're trying to reach out to people that are kind of new. And so I'm not going to put on a bunch of extra stuff here, but simply put, this trend line is broken now, upper trend line, and that's good. And honestly, the next target, we were talking about 260, these 2 double peaks here for the daily candle close around 260. I mean, that wick doesn't really do all that much for us. In terms of, resistance at the peak, I would say. Hey, Anli. And so if we just, I think, get through 260, we might want to make a line at 260. We can move this one. So it's between this candle close right here. You know what? Actually, let's do what we usually do. Let's do a range. I keep forgetting where it is, though. From the daily candle close here, to the daily candle close here. It's so small, so it's kind of useless to do this, but generally speaking, this is the box, or the resistance box, in my opinion. Yes, we would probably be smarter by pulling this up to the peak. There we go. But that's gonna be some kind of resistance in there, I think. We can actually say resistance box. Just so we have it there. But yeah, I think, for Solana, it's gonna keep chugging here, and it's gonna make an attempt somewhere in this box. Um, and I do wanna look at liquidations. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna be able to see much, on this type of map. Um, but if you look on the shorter term stuff just for today, obviously there's more pain on the downside, obviously, since it's been pumping, right? And so 242 is where we start chugging through this little bit here. It's not all that much, um, but I think if we go further out, we're still gonna see, more pain on the downside in Solana because of that major uptrend that we've had. The real long uptrend, it's not much, you know, not much is collected up here, obviously. Um, so there's a lot of more pain or a lot of longs that's built up here. So this is why we see this. So I think we can't use this map to kind of look at where liquidations are. I would say it's probably better to look at this. Oh, well, I'm being stupid. Sorry, look at this liquidation heat map and see if we can zoom this out enough to get a good idea. Bitcoin. Hold on, do we not have? Oh, there goes symbol. We're gonna go for Solana here. We're gonna back this out. Oh, only 3 months? We don't have 6 months? Okay. That sucks. So we're probably not gonna be able to see all that much here. That's a bummer. Yeah, no, we can't see it. Really is a bummer. I was hoping we would be able to see, all the way back here to see how much is built up around here, just to, kind of see it as a picture. Hey, Emil, or Drago, as you're known as well. So I see a lot of you are watching on X, and some of you are watching on YouTube. Would be fun to know why you prefer one or the other. Because in my opinion, X is very good because it's kind of, the crypto world. Um, it's really active there. There's a lot of good discussions going on. So, but hey, you guys know how it works. Throw me your questions if you have any thoughts or anything you want me to look at, etc. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep chugging on here. And I see also that Zeus has moved today, but it's still, that downtrend is nasty. And it's finally broken. It broke it here, and it's been ignoring it. So I'm not sure. It's not really playing the TA on Zeus. So I wonder what's going to happen here. I mean, if it starts going up here, go for the double top and the bottom. I mean, it's not even moved into the um, it's not even broken the first fib here on the way up yet. And I don't think it did that here either. Actually, yes, it did, just briefly. But yeah, that's actually, let's see what happens if we do this from absolute top there to absolute bottom. Yeah, we got a little bit left, but Zeus is really down, and I really don't see why people don't look at this and just say, "Wow, opportunity," you know. But that downtrend really has to turn. Looks like we're kind of slowing down with the trend here, though, so might make some moves. And Bitcoin has been moving too, but not that much. I'm gonna zoom into the 4 hourly. We even got a medium sell order on the swing trade strategy right here. But that mini dump didn't really do much for us, did it? So I think it might be a little bit too early, but we are at 116, and maybe we can see on Bitcoin if there's any fun liquidations going on in the near future. So there we go. Yeah, Bitcoin starts just around where we are right now, and it's got a little bit here. And let's zoom out a bit and see if there's anything else. There's it's not much. I mean, the shorts are just piling on here. But here on yeah, okay, so here on the 30-day, the month or older, positions, we're looking at if we go to 16.2, we got a pretty decent chunk of stuff that we might wanna push through here. If it goes all the way through until, you know, 120, let's see where that meets up. So 125, 122, around this range, uh, around this range right here is where it kind of stops right here, which means yes, by the way, for those of you who have watched me before, we're gonna make a liquidation box for Bitcoin. I'm not really sure if I wanna make it all that big. I mean, that's where would it stop? It would kinda slow down, I guess, here. If it takes out the whole thing, let's go for that. 12700. Whoop. Let's see. 12700. Doo, doo, doo. There we go. Where did it start? It starts basically where we are right now. Just at 162, I said, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's a liquidation box. Ooh. Box is spelled BOX, not BIOZ. Emil, you prefer YouTube simply because I don't use any social media platforms. Right. And well, Emil, if you're gonna be in crypto, I think, being on, um, X is not a horrible idea. Um, so let's see how we carry through this. I'm gonna shorten this liquidation box. So I think this is where it starts. We'll see if it bumps through this. What do you think? Are you guys long right now? I mean, I'm long. We have a few positions open. One on Hype, which is coin margin, it's up 220%. One on Bitcoin, which is up 97.5. One on Solana, a tiny one, with 141%. The sweep position is really boring. Oh, whoops. But it's doing stuff. So we'll see what it does here. I think if Bitcoin just pops into this box, it's gonna make some move here. The first kind of bump would probably stop us at 117.2 maybe, which would be, let's say, layer 1, 117.2. Let's do some text here. First layer. And the second layer would be 118.2. Wow, it really is $1,000 in between all of them. That's crazy. 118.2. Let's see. Second layer. Let's see. I'm a contrarian going against the herd. Hey man, you do you, brother. It's all good. It's all good. And make sure, by the way, if you guys haven't yet, make sure you follow us on YouTube and on X. Both of them. Emil. Gotta do it, bro. Let's see layer 3. Wait, why do I have both of these open? I didn't realize that. Layer 3 would put us at 119.5, I guess. Uh, ah, yeah, 119, I suppose. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what it does there. If it goes in there, those 3 are targets, I suppose. But we're also gonna leave that there, and we're also gonna do a I'm gonna check here what happens with the fib. Okay, so the fib is actually at the very top of this, up here. However, we do have the fib, the Fibonacci, the golden pocket. Okay, and that's at, what is it? 117.6 to 118.2. 117.6. So I'm gonna zoom in here. Du- 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 du. 117.6. I said that right. Golden pocket. We make this another color so we see it properly. Uh, what color are we doing? Red, I guess. There we go. Now we have targets. Woohoo! Let's see what we do with this. Okay, so let's see. We got 41 people watching. That's about the same that we do in TikTok. And for those of you who have never seen us before, questions, send them. I'll answer everything I can. I'm here to kind of help people figure things out as much as I can. Oh, and I can also see I can't see all of the comments either. So but I can see them there. I think Seb, it says Polymarket using a link. What do we think about it? Oh, uh, not sure. I mean, Polymarket is pretty big nowadays. I don't think it does all that much for link because I mean, even if it's a big crypto project, or a big, a big thing within the crypto space, I don't necessarily think that it's, you know, all that important for link. And to be honest, I'm not sure why they would use link when Pyth is around, but yeah, I mean, if they prefer that, then go for it. But it certainly works. But I don't really think it's a huge deal for link that Polymarket is using them. I don't think I can't really see that putting a whole lot of value um, into link as a whole. But you know, comparing that to the U.S. government putting government data on chain through Pyth, I think that's a much bigger deal than Polymarket using link. Um, but it's certainly positive. It's not a bad thing. So I mean, go Link, yay! I'm not an investor of Link. I don't think I will ever be. I will definitely, well, not definitely, but it's one of those things that I would short in the bear market, um, along with every other altcoin, to be honest with you. So it's like, yeah, I'm not an investor in it. I'm not, and I don't think I'll ever be. Um, but maybe I'm wrong. I'd rather hold Pit though. We've had that discussion before, haven't we? So, and by the way, I'm sorry about the music. Like, in through StreamYard, which is what I'm using right now, I can't um I can't really stream desktop music, I don't think. Yeah, I can try and see if it makes, you know, if it makes noise, then woohoo. But otherwise, it's all the built-in music in StreamYard. So we'll have to live with this chill background music until we find our own thing. Let's see. Let's get back to this. I wonder if that's better. No, no, that's better, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's better. So, okay, we've prepared our viewing of Bitcoin here until later. I don't think we're gonna push into this right now. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. Let's look at a shorter time frame here to see what's going on here. Ah, yeah, yeah, okay, it's making an attempt, so I guess it's gonna wanna try to get into this. The liquidations are they're starting to eat into it. It's not all that much though, so I don't know if it's gonna make a huge difference. However, something that we gotta keep in mind here with what's going on right now is, um oh, wait, let's go for 1 hour, is the fact that very often, as you might have noticed in the last couple of months, whenever there's a weekend, just before, during around this time, the market tends to dump, ahead of the weekend. So, now we will have to just see if it's gonna, carry on up or not. It looks like it's going to, and we might have a green weekend for once. Um, but like I said, we've been, being hammered every weekend. We're getting slammed down on Friday night because the American market is just selling off their positions before the weekend starts because they don't want to hold a volatile asset like Bitcoin over the weekend because they're scared. Unlike us degens that love crypto, we want to hold them much longer than that. So yeah, the sound was much better on TikTok. Okay, Gabriel, do you mean just the background music or the microphone itself? Because I can make some adjustments, I think. Uh, Maybe not the best thing to do on the run like this, but uh, maybe. Well, I can't really do all that much, to be honest with you. But still, at least here we don't get restricted like on TikTok. And Rob is gonna try to stream on TikTok just to see if he gets the same bug as I do, because then we'll know if it's me or if it's TikTok. But we shall see. And I honestly, I kind of want us to grow on X uh, more than anywhere else. So if we can do this and it works out, then that's great. So hmm. Okay, let me just send a message here to him. There we go. My voice, okay. Well, that's a bummer. I think it has to do with there's some built-in things on TikTok Studios that sorts out some of the background noise and everything. Um, like we don't really have that here. Um, I would have to upgrade some stuff. Hey, Kavik. So we shall see. I'm looking through the audio interface right now, and there's not much I can do. Um, there's a little bit of settings we can do, but hopefully they will upgrade this um, in a good way sooner rather than later. But generally speaking, you don't really have all that much um, edit here, so I can't really do much more with this setup right now. But I'll see if I can sort it out later to make sure that it sounds even better. It's actually a little bit surprising to me that TikTok does it better, being just basically a phone app. Oh, let's see. I want to zoom in and see how the 1 minute is behaving on Bitcoin because we're just there right now. And there goes. Let's see if it makes a big green god candle here when we get into the box. Uh, yeah, there we go. See, the box always works, you guys. I keep joking about this, oh, he's making boxes. That's weird. And it's like, well, usually they play out pretty well. So we just saw liquidation there. You can see how, it's really ramping up here. And if it's going to break through here, maybe even close some longer time frame candles atop of this, and then we're good. Um, let's back on the 1 hourly, see it a bit better. But obviously, what we want to see here is like a jump. This hourly candle, which is 29 minutes left on this, we want to see this candle reach all the way up to the first layer, and that's going to be like boop. That's where we want it to close, in my opinion. And the momentum kind of kicks in, and hopefully we can carry on through the other ones. We do have the golden pocket right here, which lines up with the second layer, so hopefully we can get some cracks through that. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens, obviously. Oh, hey, Philip. My name is also Philip. Are we best friends? I wonder. I want to see if Solana is making moves too. Well, not necessarily. I mean, obviously it's making moves, but I want to see if it's going to giga pump and end up somewhere fun for us. Yeah, Bitcoin. Let's see. Let's look at ETH, actually. You guys remember, you can ask questions. Go ahead, please. It'll be easier for me to find something fun to talk about. I think that's one of the good things with TikTok. A lot of random people gets to jump in and you know have a lot of great questions. Hmm. The ETH is making the moves too, but it's still stuck under previous all-time highs here. So, but if it cracks through it, it's gonna move, right? It's funny to see. Actually, hype is down, but it made the move yesterday. Pith is actually also down. That's a bummer, but it's actually hit this pretty strong resistance. Move this. It's actually hit pretty strong resistance here, and failed it after that big pump with the announcement about the U.S. government using PIT. And it also lined up with this kind of range for the previous bottoms there. So I'm not surprised that it got stuck. But the next target for PIT is 55 cents from here, where it's sitting at 18 cents, barely 18 cents right now. The target, if it cracks through this, is going to be 55 cents. That's a pretty neat, it's a pretty neat move, 200%. If it cracks through, say, around here, just that move is 128.3%, which is also great. My thoughts about XRP, Philip. Me and the other guys in the team, we're all in agreement that it's kind of a shitcoin. It doesn't really do anything that anyone needs anymore, especially not after the Genius Act came through. I was saying previously, though, after it peaked out and started coming down, the obvious, the obvious support here is going to be this, and it got front run. I think it also had a pretty neat fib, if I remember correctly. Fib level right on it, right there. Where I thought, we might find support. However, I think most people probably pulled the fib like this, which is why they front ran this a little bit, and it got caught up and made it. But yeah, XRP has broken out of this trend here, which is obviously good. It didn't really break out with like a whole lot of force though, but I don't think it matters. It seems like alts are kind of just moving along now. And XRP will also be moving along, I think. Um, you know, when it breaks all-time highs, where's it gonna go? Well, I think we had a fib that went all the way up to 534. Uh, I can see that happening, but I think it's overpriced already. So this is not something that I would get into as even as a trade at this point. Maybe as a short once we get up higher, and that's when I probably start looking at shorting XRP. But for long term type of stuff. But I won't short anything unless the rest of the market tells me that it's time to short. And what I mean by that is, unless something like this, the CBBI, unless the CBBI is, 95, at least 90, I'm not even going to start considering shorting long term. So, yeah, I'm not looking to short anything yet. Certainly not, you know, in the middle of a move up. I'll be waiting for it to slow down. I want to see something like this. It's like, oh, and then that's where I start shorting it for a while. But people keep saying, oh, bear market is coming up and stuff. And I'm like, we might not have bear markets. We'll see. But I do like the way that the Solana Bitcoin chart looks right now. If you guys remember from previous streams, obviously bear market, Solana got crushed in Bitcoin terms. And then it made a huge move, obviously. Held its own for a long time, like flat against Bitcoin is very, very strong. So, yeah, that was good. Then this dump came and, Solana started losing against Bitcoin again. And then I thought, okay, what happens now? So one of the predictions we had here was that Solana would have resistance coming back into this box right here. And I guess that was correct, Solana versus Bitcoin. So we came down through it, tested it, kind of tested it too. And now that we've been inside of it and just cracked through it like that, pretty much with decent force, now we're suddenly above it. So what we want to see here for Solana Bitcoin is essentially, the classic go up a little bit, come down and retest and see if it's going to hold up as support before it makes, the next move. And people are definitely trading this chart, you guys. Okay. I mean, it's Bitcoin Solana, trading the Bitcoin charts is not a bad idea for sure. So I think that's what we want to see. We're also seeing Solana winning against ETH again, for obvious reasons. Obviously, Solana has made big moves. Remove this fib. Solana really destroyed ETH here. I remember flipping all my ETH into Solana somewhere around here. And then obviously it crashed again. And I was sad for a couple of days, but then I was happy again. But obviously it was a good move. But going up like this against ETH while it's flat against Bitcoin, and then finally losing out a little bit here, and now coming back. What we want to see is Solana against ETH cracking through this trend again. Cracking through it and just carrying on up. Even if it's just going to jump in and start trading within that range again, wow, that's not straight at all. But you know what I mean, right? Well, that's what we want to see. And if it's going to stay in there and just, not crack above this, that's fine. It's still winning against ETH in these uptrends. Does that mean ETH has to go down? No. It just means they both have to go up. So there you go. Okay, sorry, I kind of missed the questions here. Emil, I missed the part with the golden pocket box. If you can explain that. Well, it's really simple. It's really just on Bitcoin. It's really just this fib uh, from the top wick right there to the bottom wick, and then you have the golden pocket right here. That tends to be strong resistance. So I made a little box for that inside of our liquidation box. That's why it's there. Ethan's alt-season index hit? Yes. We are pretty heavily into alt-season right now, I would say. We can also look at the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance chart is showing us that Bitcoin really is losing out now against the rest of the market. I guess the target was probably around here, 73%, give or take. Was there ever a guarantee that it would go all that way? No, for sure not. But that was the target. That was what people were aiming for. Potentially aiming for 57%, where we're at right now, as the roof, because of these bottoms. But I'm not all that confident that people actually trade this chart all that much. It's just a dominance chart. There's so many variables that can mess this chart up, which is why I don't use this to trade anything. I kind of just look at it as strength or weakness, which is, I think, probably most people look at it as. But you can at least see our swing trade strat here is really giving us some pretty good entries. We're just going to turn on the entries here on the Bitcoin dominance. Like, hey guys, time to buy Bitcoin here, 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 here. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And now it's buying the dip again. Not bad, right? So instead of buying alts, every time there's a dip like this, buy Bitcoin. It works. That's good. But yeah, it definitely cracked through this here. It's kind of similar to when Bitcoin cracked, kind of this trend. It was a bit uglier, this trend, but you can see what happens when it breaks the trend. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will continue on down for a long time, because it broke through this trend right here, came down, bounced in the middle of nowhere because it's a Bitcoin dominance chart, and then it moved along. It's going to do the same thing again. No clue. I don't think it will, though. Are those indicators Jay's scalping weapons? Well, Jay does use this, I think, quite a bit. I remember giving Jay. Whoops. Let me do this. Sorry. I remember giving Jay. I mean, since Jay is here, you can probably answer this too. But I remember giving Jay, here, use the swing trade strategy, and then put it together with the liquidation maps for scalping, because it's so easy, looking at the 1-minute charts, 5-minute charts with the swing trade strategy on your screen, and then also having this liquidation map next to it. Because, you can see it's like, oh, okay, now it's bumping into this, etc., right? So there we go. Dominance chart is good to at least see some of the patterns and sentiment of the market. Correct. Precisely. Not really the thing to trade with. And it seems like the liquidations seem to be not very strong. I mean, obviously there's not all that much here. I mean, yes, there's money there to collect. They probably will try to collect this over the weekend. So going through this box, hitting 120, 121 is not off the books. Maybe 119 might be the roof, because that's kind of where we ended right here. 119 is right there, that dip right there. So we might just want to grab this chunk, but that still puts us at 119. Is that doable? I mean, yeah, sure. But the good thing about that is that it's broken through the golden pocket when that happens, which is, going to give us some momentum to carry on up to the next fib, for example. And a lot of people, they trade fibs. So let me see. And up here we have my targets. Cool. I'd like to see how much more or less you are collecting compared to Phil that does it more casually. Oh, you mean trading? Well, so we already know. I remember in 2024 we did have a little competition to see who would make the most profits in a year, and I won that competition. Um, with 22 trades, and I did 7,994%. I think Jay did like 500, maybe something like that. Jay, what wasn't it 500% or 600% or something? Where was it 1,000%? It was a good chunk. It was a good chunk. It was definitely a good chunk, but I still won. Mm, yep. Let's look at Solana, see if it's doing something else. Solana's starting to wick a bunch here. I don't like it. Right, exactly. Yes, Jay, exactly. Um, so Jay did 500% and I did 8,000, I think. Yes, Emil, I did win. I did, because I didn't aim for any type of percentage. My strategy, and I'll be super serious when I say this to you, okay? If you aim for a certain percent every day, it's like you can aim and aim and aim, and you make profits, and then it's like, oh, I need one more trade to finish this off. And then you make one more trade, and it's a loss. You're like, oh, dang it, I have to keep carrying on doing it, and then you make another loss. Then you make another loss, and you're like, okay, it's time to stop. Instead of going like, okay, I have 2.6%, I'm gonna stop. You know, I'm not saying Jay does that, but I mean, in my head, it's like if you have a goal that you have to do a certain amount of profits every day, then you might mess yourself up. My goal when I was doing, those high percentages in a year, I was my the only thing I cared about was to wait for the most opportune moment to enter a position, on the longer time frame, right? So I was looking at the 4 hourly and the daily and on weekly to see overall, like, okay, what is the market doing right now and how is it feeling and blah blah blah. So I was waiting for these big positions to enter with size, like percentage of my bag size, not like capital size. Um, I just did that with 5x leverage only. I didn't go further than that. Um, and I would use 20% of my bag to open. If it didn't go my way, I would protect it with another 20% to double down on it. And usually that was all I needed. Sometimes, I think once I had to do it 3 times. I had to double down 3 times or twice. Um, and that was kind of scary, but it played out. It played out in the way that I expected it to. So instead of me aiming for like a certain percentage, I aimed for the best position I could have, and then I would just move along. I would just move my stop loss along with every. So for example, during this trend, if I was let's do the 15 minutes easier to see. I was actually no, it's not. If I was doing a trade from here, let's say I entered really well and I entered here, right? Probably wouldn't have, but actually, let's see if I would have. Yeah, I would have entered there because I would use the on the 1 hourly, I would use the soft entries. So I would enter there, right? And then I would also be watching my medium and heavy exits. So I would do this. I'm gonna use horizontal line. So I enter here, I let it go up and come down, and once it cracks this top here, comes down, cracks the top, goes up. That's when I move the stop loss in right there. So then, I have a guaranteed, say, 0.74% times 5, which is say 4% or whatever, give or take. so I can't lose anymore. And then I just wait for it to come up like this, make a low, and then when it cracks, that previous top, right? I would just grab my stop and I would move it in just below where the bottom was, but only after it cracks through here. It did it, came down, then when it cracked this top again right here, I would move the stop just a tiny bit to that. And then I would do that all along, it would be there, then it would be here, then it would be here, then it would be here, and at this point, it would still be nope, it would be here now, right? Because it went up here from above, so it would be right here. As soon as it breaks this peak right there and goes up, I'm gonna move it just a tiny bit up there if I had the position open. And that's what I did. That's what I did 22 times. So the minimum profit on this position, if I had it open, would be 19.2% times 5. Um, oh, is my computer bugging out right now? Whoops. Hold on. Let me grab my Solana phone. I'm so proud of this Solana phone. I love it. Let me have a look. Um, uh, uh, uh. So this position would be up at 96% with about probably 20% of my equity or my capital in that account. So I would have made a 40% profit in total, right? 40% in total on that account in just that trade. And when you do that, since I traded coin margin only, well, I always trade coin margin only, unless we're in a bear market. I trade coin margin on Bitcoin and Solana on my big two positions, but then I trade regular futures on everything else just to short and get dollars for the bear market, bottom. But so that simple position, just doing that simply like that, that's a 96% profit if you go in 5x, which is kind of what I normally do. Um, so there you go. That was a long-winded response to that. I hope you could see what I was doing because I forgot to do this. um, let's see. Yeah, Jay, since you are in the market, you are bound to mess up more rather than just looking at the bigger picture. That is just my opinion. But see, that's the thing too. But he also has more opportunities to make good trades. Um, you know, everybody should do. Um, everybody should always do what they are comfortable with, right? If you feel like day trading is your thing, then that's what you should be. You should be doing that. If you're like me and you feel like long term, um, I'm mainly an analyst who likes to invest in the best things I can find on the market. But then I also trade long term because it's just good, you know. And I only coin margin trade with the things that I have in my investment portfolio. So currently, obviously, I'm doing a tiny because I just got into hype. Uh, just bought 10 hype at whatever the price was. I can't remember, $40 something. And then I entered a 30x long with one hype and 9 hype in coin extra margin. I'm just letting this thing just run, right? I'm just letting this run. That's it. The target is $100 for hype, and I'm just gonna leave it running up until it gets to 100. Um, and then obviously, eventually, I'm probably gonna move stop loss in at 100% grid profits. So once we reach 100% grid profits, I'll move stop loss in there, because then hopefully the trend here will be far beyond that. Usually, what I would do, if I'll take an example here, I'll go to this Bitcoin position. I'll show you what I mean. This is on the Pionex, by the way. So normally, what I would do here, we go to the 4-hourly. Whoa! So normally, what I would do is I would say open a position somewhere, and I let it run, and then when it dumps, uh, just like within a regular stop loss, I don't think I would move the stop loss in here because this was just such a quick one. So I would just wait. I would make sure that it's actually a big, that it closes above properly. But here, at this point, I would probably move in a stop loss. I should move a stop loss in here, just below that. So this is the previous entry for this. I think I think we opened it like here or something. I don't know. Gotta sneeze. I had to sneeze. I just sneezed on X on a live AL. Um, but yes, I would move the stop loss in here after this. Sorry, after this goes above here, and then it could downtrend and trade on the way down, and then stop me out with a huge amount of um, grid profits because that's how I use the grid bots. And I only use grid bots for coin margin trading. You can see I got 4 of them on right now. 2 of them are tiny. It's just one hype and one sol. But the Bitcoin position is like 0.01 Bitcoin or something. It's 1% of a Bitcoin. That's a decent chunk for most people. And it's 50 SUI in this one, in the SUI bot. So, going to SUI, you can see it's trading through here. We entered here. I think we entered uh, here maybe. I can't remember. But the break even is definitely not down there. There's much lower because of the trades haven't moved in ages. But yeah, I always wanted to break a previous high before I move a stop loss in at the bottom, especially for a grid bot like this where it's like running on a really long term kind of thing. I mean, these bots, the high bot is 55 days old. The Bitcoin one is 95 days old. Solana also 95 days, and Sui also 95 days. The audio is a bit laggy. Oh, that sucks. It might be. Why is my computer being weird today? Hold on. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Okay, so I can't open my internet settings. So when I started my computer this morning, or today, Discord wouldn't open properly either. So I think I just need to reboot the computer. It's being a little bastard. It's being a little bastard. Let's look at Sui actually. Sui is also making moves here, and obviously it's trending up nicely. But Sui really needs to crack on here. I feel like Sui might have some trouble right here. Yeah, turn it off and on again, of course. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, Ellis.p. Hey, .p. Thanks for popping over to this platform. Oh, Isna is here too. Hey, man, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a bit. Where you been, man? Come on. You don't want to watch us on TikTok? And why haven't you been in Discord, man? And by the way, for everyone here who's not joined the Discord yet, please do. We've got open voice chats and everything. Share your screen, talk, hang out, learn, teach if you want to. It's all good. It's a nice group of people in there hanging out on a daily basis, which is great. And the Discord, Jay, can you share the Discord link? Actually, can I make you moderator somehow through this? No. Whatever. We'll do this. Discord.gg/crypto talks. If you haven't joined, go ahead and join it. Go ahead and join it. Let's see. I'm gonna pop up this thing again. I want to see. Okay, so Sui might make an attempt here to crack through this, which is going to be really good because that means it's breaking the downtrend pretty much, and then it's going to re-enter this longer potential. So obviously this upper line, that's a parallel channel. Hold on, let me do that. It's a parallel channel, this one, so that's just an exact parallel of this trend right here, and that's the potential. But currently, if you're just gonna make a move here and crack through these tops here and make a move, it's gonna get stuck here probably at 5.3 or 3.5. But other than that, there's nothing stopping it from going to 10 bucks. Him and got you 2 people for the upcoming workshop. Oh, good. Nice. Are they coworkers or family or what is it? And their minds will be blown. Yeah, hopefully, if they're new to crypto, hopefully, I mean, that's the idea with the workshop, to get people kind of realizing what they're missing out on and everything. Coworkers? Sweet. Sweet. That's good. Okay, seems like Bitcoin doesn't want to liquidate that much through here. We'll see. I mean, I I wouldn't be surprised if we open up, you know, um, our charts tomorrow morning. We wake up on a Saturday morning and we're like, "Oh, I'm tired. I need to check the charts, check it," and we're sitting somewhere in this box still. I wouldn't be surprised about that. A couple of weeks ago, I think we saw a little bit of a crack through a box like this, and nothing happened. It went down, and it did kind of this move, and then it just went boom. If you guys remember that from the stream like a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember when it was. I just remember it being like, "Oh, we'll check the box tomorrow." We checked the box, and it was perfect. Actually, no, I know what it was. It was this box, right? You guys remember this? I think we were looking on the 5 minute, no, 5 or something minute charts, and we were on. I had made this box, and I said, it's gonna peak out at this top of this box. And during the stream, it came up here and it hit the box, and then it came down, and then we stopped streaming, and I said, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see if it's peaked out at the box." Um, we stopped the stream at 10, which is during this red candle, and then I think the next day we streamed again. Uh, let's see. The next day when we streamed again, um, it was at 8 p.m. and we were here, all the way down there after peaking out um, at the top of the box. So it was a bummer that we missed it. If we had streamed until 1:30 in the morning, my time, we would have been able to like see that red candle and short that probably. It is a bummer we missed that because that would have been a nice little trade, a nice little short right around here somewhere. Maybe stop it when we get the green 5% dump. Now that with a 5x, a decent profit, right? But yeah, we missed it. Boo-hoo. But now we have a new box to look at. Oh, whoops. It would be fun though to see this crack through during the stream, but the 15 minutes on the RSI is kind of overextended. The 1 hour is overextended, 4 hour. I guess it's overextended too, but I think we're looking at the daily trends right now. Something that we see here as well, if you're looking at the RSI, a lot of people like to do this. I don't necessarily think that's much of a trend line to do. I don't think people train solely on the RSI. That would be weird. Um, but there you go. People make those trend lines, and it's about to test that. Is it gonna survive it? Not sure, but we shall see. We did also get here on the daily. Actually, when you look at this, it's not a very obvious one, but uh, Actually, no, we didn't. We didn't get that. But what? Uh, no, never mind. Never mind, you guys. I gotta. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the Daft Punk um, inspired music that we got on that we could have on TikTok. I really missed that. That was a lot of fun. Uh, Actually, let's have a look at some of the oh, some daily active users. I want to see if Solana's daily active users have grown um, during this uptrend or if it's been boring. So it's an important metric to look at. I like Artemis. Artemis is good. Solana's user base is still sitting around 4 million, so no real growth during this uptrend, which is actually is quite it's quite okay actually. Um, let's look at Say Network. We were looking at Say before, if you guys remember, we looked at Say a lot, and we wanted to see the growth on Say users. And as you can see now, we've had this growth um, since where are we? Since April of this year, we had massive growth, steady growth on the Say ecosystem in terms of users, and it seems to have peaked out now and wants to come down. Maybe it's just something like this, where we had this big move, had the downtrend, and then it flattened out, and then it carried on. So we might see something like that, but it depends on, are people going to really use Say? Are developers building anything really cool on Say that is like cooler than what's being built on its main competitor, Solana? If not, I don't know if Say is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be doing well, but I don't want to say that Say is gonna outperform Solana until I see real ecosystem development. People building things, really cool things. A wide ecosystem. Same goes for Sui. A lot of people talk about Sui, and I like Sui. I hold Sui. It's a hedge against Solana, but it's not really growing as we would might as we might want it to. Um, I mean, this is the daily active users on Say, and it's like it collapsed a bit. Not collapsed. It went down a bit here, came back up again, and then it disappeared. Came back up again, disappeared. So it's really going in waves here on Sui for some reason. I can't really put my finger on why that is. Um, oh yeah, Emil, this is gonna be saved on YouTube in our live tab, and I think on X too, so you can definitely watch it later. Uh, I was only gonna do an hour here to test this out. I mean, obviously, this is completely unplanned stream. um, it was basically just we're testing to see how it's gonna, how it goes. Um, and we were thinking that I would try to stream and just hang out with the community and you know answer questions on X and on YouTube just to kind of help people get started in all these things, um, or you know be able to answer questions that people actually have what's going on. But so I'll probably do that. These streams at night will probably be a lot more chill, and then during the weekends we might have more of a planned stream where it's like Rob and I might sit down and we have this whole thing planned out where we talk about this subject and all these things. But these ones, during the weekdays, I think it will just be me kind of hanging out with you guys, answering questions, looking at the market together and all that kind of stuff. Um, so much more laid back. So we'll see how this fares because currently, like I said before, TikTok is just not they're trying to stop us from streaming. Basically, they're sabotaging us. Uh, I don't know if it's purposefully, but I wouldn't be surprised. I know at least on X, people don't mind. Um, they don't mind that you stream about crypto and all these things. Um, it's just harder to get the reach, you know. But yeah, I think X is where we do want to grow the most because we do write stuff on X as well. So hopefully you guys are okay with us streaming on X and YouTube at the same time. Grow both channels or both pages. Mm. And soon I might be able to showcase the website too, which would be super cool. Because I know a lot of people are asking about our website and the Market Master system and all these things. And yeah, we are going to showcase that eventually. I'm not sure when though, and I couldn't tell you because I don't actually know. Oh, come on, phone, don't be like that. Ugh. So it would be fun though if Bitcoin could just make some kind of move here while we're streaming. I mean, I'm going to the 1 minute right now, and it's just flat. It's just, I mean, I guess on the 1 minute it's bull flagging, but is that going to be a thing? Not sure. Probably. So we'll see. Still kind of bummed out that both hype and pits are down for the day, which is kind of crazy to me. Sui has barely made a move. He has made a bit of a move, but not all that much. Solana and ETH are both doing well. We haven't actually really looked at ETH. How's ETH doing? Oh, ETH is doing pretty well. Pretty strong. We're getting some small take profit signals here though. Not sure I would listen to those during this period, but you know, it is what it is. Don't think we got those on the 4 hourly. No. And where's the entries? Soft entries. There we go. So that's a pretty nice buy on ETH there, you know. If you're playing in the 4 hourly here, you've gotten some pretty decent stuff. I'm gonna remove this fib. Sorry, it's just in the way. This is pretty good. Pretty nice on ETH there. You know, accumulate, right? Buy the dip, that's the green one. You know, take a little bit of profit out on the way up, just to secure some profits, and then you buy back the dip. Then you take the profits, buy the dip again, take a little bit of profits perfectly at the top, basically, and then we carry on with the move. This is designed to accumulate more than it sells off. So I would be buying and holding like a spot position, and then just taking small pieces out along the way. But overall, it's going to hold more than it started with. So, but that looks pretty good. I'm gonna remove all these circles that I made because I don't want to make things dirty. I mean, even on the daily, it's pretty dang good. A little bit early here, but that's fine. Same here. Doing big dumps, I can't really avoid that with an automated signal. Perfect bottom. I like that. So far, no buy here, but who cares? Right. So ETH is doing well. We'll see if ETH is going to make a huge move here once it cracks through. I think it will. A lot of people think it's going to like pump to 10K almost instantly. I can't really see 10K. However, I can see 7.5, which would be, I think, from here to here, 8. Going to the daily candle close on this. It's like there or something. And this one at the bottom would be there. So yeah, 7.5K target. Can ETH make that? Yeah, for sure. Is it gonna make 10K? maybe, but not now. I don't think it'll make 10K from this breakout here. Um, but yeah, ETH is about to kind of try breaking the all-time high and actually making a big move. So it's going to be a big move for sure. Let's see. The breakout to 7.5K would be a 53% move. That's a lot. I'll be happy with 7.5K. Yes, 7. Well, so the thing is, if ETH makes a move, that means Solana, so we say Hype, all these other altcoins and blockchains will also make big moves, uh, even bigger moves, right? So yeah. Oh, so it looks like we have 79 people watching on X and a total of 84, so 5 people on YouTube. Kind of funny. Whoops. I've made a boo-boo. Trying to understand what's going on with this. All right. So yeah, I'm holding my Solana from 90 bucks. Nice one, dude. I wish I was still holding the Solana I had at $1.35. And but I'm holding. I think my cost basis now is like $40, $41, maybe. So that's pretty. Oh, we have a visitor. Why is my cat trying to break into the door? Hey, buddy, stop it. Hmm, weird. I got some steak sold from under 50 bucks. Good man. Good man. And yes, Big Floof is here. Everybody who's here who hasn't seen my cat yet, he's a big fella. He's not fat, he's just a large cat. And I mean large. Big dude. Okay, let's zoom in on Bitcoin here again. Is that large enough on the screen when I've made it small like this? Is that viewable for you guys without problem? It's not much detail, so I think it should be okay. Should be okay. Exactly, Kavik. You might as well earn a percentage for holding it. I'll say this, through my Seeker phone, my Solana Seeker phone, um, I'm staking in the built-in app, the built-in wallet. So from the built-in wallet, uh, how do I cover this? So with the built-in wallet, you get, if you stake to the Solana Seeker validator, you're getting 8.5%. So it's paying out every other day. It's paying out rewards, which is great. Like it paid out 4 times since I moved everything over. Not everything, a nice chunk over. Really happy with this phone so far. I mean, I'm not using it for much, just for crypto, some random crypto stuff. But battery life is great compared to my iPhone, my poor iPhone that I'm using. Yeah, once I get up in the morning, my iPhone, the screen on my iPhone is on from when I get up until I go to bed. There's always something that I'm looking at. So my course, my poor iPhone. It's getting, beaten up. It's in the charger, like, 80% of the time. It's probably gonna blow up eventually, but thankfully, I have the Solana speakerphone in my hand too, so I'm good. And the next iPhone. Didn't the new iPhone just come out? The, like, iPhone 17 or whatever it is? I think it did. Oh, let's do this instead. L, are you long or short on Bitcoin? Well, I'm long. So I'm long here with this. It's up 99% right now. On KuCoin, I have a coin margin position as well, which is uh, a much bigger position in terms of capital. But it's also only 3x leverage instead of 25x. So I'm letting that just sit there. I actually entered that pretty much, I think here or something like that. Here, maybe? Here or here, I can't remember. Uh, so it's doing well. I'm gonna probably close it at 139, give or take, whenever I close the grid bot too, the coin margin grid bot, closing the manual. Okay, so now Bitcoin is actually, did Bitcoin really go down and retest the bottom of that box? Yeah, it did. Oh, I guess it retested this peak, give or take. So if it's gonna hold that and move along, then that's great. It's funny. I shouldn't have said anything. It's still red. But I do want to see it move soon because it's getting boring just looking at, where's the big green candles, man? Wow. Everybody who's watching, make sure you ask your questions. I'll answer everything I can. Okay, let's see. Sui, yeah. It's actually falling in users. 500K users. I wonder how our XRP's user base is doing. See if it's still 25K. Yeah, 22.7K. Wow. Oh, wait, that's okay. Yeah, 22.7K users. Woo. Super impressive. How about Cardano? What do you guys think? How many users does Cardano have? I think it's gonna be like 18,000. 21,000. Pretty close guess. A bit of a bump here lately, but still down. So basically, no one is using it. Daily. Oh my gosh, daily transactions on Cardano is 27,600. 27,600 transactions. That is brutal. Daily transactions on Solana, 84 million. Oh, I wonder if there's any Cardano fans watching right now. You guys, I'm sorry, like, Cardano is just not, it's not gonna make it. The market has already shown you nobody wants to use it. There's nothing interesting being built on it. I'm sorry. You can hate me all you want. How is BNB doing though? I think they have 2 point something million users now. Uh, oh, it doesn't show. There you go. Yeah, 2.4 million. That's great. BNB is still being used, obviously, because it's Binance. So, cool. I wonder if OKX. Oh, they have. I wonder how much metrics they have on this. Uh, ah, they don't have users for OKX because OKX just kind of made some changes, and obviously it pumped like crazy. Like, um, oh gosh, go back out. So OKX, OKB token, it pumped like crazy just out of the blue. They made some changes to some stuff. I can't remember what it was, but that is a bunch. The question is it going to last? I mean, look at this trend. Right there. This is a very, very strong trend. I mean, 2022, this is the bear market, and it's like still trending, and suddenly just exploding like that. Very impressive. So I don't really know what to say here. That dump in the bear market, it was 71%, but it's barely visible because this uptrend is so strong. Very impressed. Very impressed. Um, looks like we should have bought. Here's OKB, KCS, which is KuCoins. Uh, it's also held its own for a while. It obviously came down first, but it's like trending pretty well. Maybe like the exchange tokens, like BNB, KCS, OKB, all these things, maybe they're actually stronger than we anticipated. You know, it looks strong. I mean, pretty strong at least. So that's pretty sweet. Let's go back on Bitcoin. Oh, look, that red candle is no longer red. Does this mean we're going to crack up to the first layer? What do you guys think? I mean, if we update this, that's where the layer stops. 118.1. Is it going to make that move? I mean, I feel like it's going to make that move. Hmm? Just up here. And then people start front running the golden pocket before we crack down. Could do. Could definitely do. And like Kavik says, join the Discord if you can, if you want to, because we just hang out there all day long talking and helping each other out and everything. Oh, there's. This looks like it wants to carry on going. It's in the box now. It's retested the bottom of the box even. Let's make a move. Come on, Bitcoin. Don't be boring. Give me something for the stream just for fun. Give us some entertainment. Ugh, it's being boring. Oh, by the way, I was just gonna do this for an hour today just to test this out, but we've been doing it for 90 minutes. I think it's probably time to kind of round this off. So, with all that said, obviously this is the first time we tried this type of stream on here. We might want to keep doing it, but for everybody who is watching, I know there's currently, it says it's 83. I'm not sure if that's right or whatever. or if that's just total views. I have no clue. Um, but to everyone who's watching, make sure you follow us on X and on YouTube if you're there, because we are going to try to do this like every day, essentially, um, on here. And the more people we get in, the more questions start popping up. And hopefully we can replace TikTok with this and do this instead here. I feel like we get much more. Um, the layout is nicer and everything. I think, like I said before, the weekday streams will just kind of be me hanging out with you guys, and then weekend we might do like a duo stream where we have some subjects and everything. We'll see how we do it, but it should be okay. And we always run on Discord, just like Alex says. So we're gonna round this off here, and maybe I can stream tomorrow. I think. But I'm not sure. I have a lot of things to do, unfortunately. But we'll see. So with all that said, like I always finish these in the same way. Make sure you take care of yourselves and take care of each other too. So good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.